Hi, I'm Louise Grant. Thanks for joining me for another in our continuing series with Angelique Moselle Robbins, who is the internationally known channel for the divine intelligence of the angelic realm named Geschichte. In our last section, we focused on Angel as a medium, working with residual energy, with souls who have just departed and are still wanting to connect here on this physical plane. And then at the very end of that segment, we also focused on those transitioned spirits who are open to connecting with their loved ones. So, hey.
Hi.
Good to see you again.
Good to see you too.
I'd love to have us spend a little time with you explaining what it is like for you when a client or friend comes to you and they want to connect with a transitioned loved one. So if you could talk a bit about, I guess I would assume it must be very humbling for you to be a part of that experience of someone's journey with a transitioned loved one. Could you talk about what that is like for you personally, knowing that you are a messenger?
Yeah, well, number one, it always makes me nervous because that's where, people are so sensitive. And once I accept that job, then I know that I'm going to feel responsible for whatever is communicated.
Mm-hmm.
And I never know what's going to be communicated. So first of all, I always tell someone who wants me to do that kind of work, yes, I can do that, but I want you to know how it occurs for me. I'm not going to speak for other mediums or whatever, but for me, the way it occurs is I connect with your heart, and whomever you are wanting to be in contact with speaks to me through your heart. So I really kind of do it this way because it, for me, in working with them, creates this loving foundation, and it also, and the reason it creates a loving foundation is because it gets that person more focused on their heart,
Mm-hmm.
on their connection to that individual. And it gets them thinking in a different way, which is, oh, I have a connection to this person. You're not reaching out in thin air
Mm-hmm.
somewhere. You're actually being able to connect through me. And it immediately changes
Mm-hmm.
it starts to change the way that they're thinking about it. And it really sets a beautiful stage. So that's the first thing I say.
Okay.
The second thing I say is I am not the kind of medium that's concerned that you believe me. So I'm not going to be kind of trying to find little kind of tricks to make you believe that I am doing what I'm doing. I'm going to be more focused on what your loved one and you, or you and whoever you're wanting to communicate with, what you have between you that is unresolved. Because something is unresolved or you wouldn't be here, and that's going to be the focus. So it's not going to be, so-and-so had a dog when they were this age, blah, 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 unless that pertains to what is being healed for that dynamic. So I lay the groundwork with that.
Mm-hmm.
And the ones who are truly interested in something being healed or resolved always come. The ones who are more interested in just kind of testing things and seeing if it's more about me, seeing if I'm for real, if
curiosity factor even.
Yeah, or just not everyone wants to explore that for the right reasons, in my opinion. And I only want to work with people who want to explore that for healing purposes.
So when you are with a client and you're about to connect in with their transitioned loved ones, where is Geschichte in all of this?
Well, at this point, I just channel Geschichte at
Okay.
the same time. So it's me channeling Geschichte, connecting with their heart and connecting with their loved one through them and through Geschichte.
That was a lot
Yeah.
that she just said. Okay, so you've channeled Geschichte.
Yeah.
They are connecting in with the clients through their heart space, which in the previous videos you've explained that the heart space is really the portal to an individual's broader self, higher perspective.
It's really the
greater-
portal to everything. It's the portal into the grander self. It's the portal into the egoic self. It's the portal into all of it.
Which is why you continually focus on, we communicate through this heart space.
Yeah.
It's not this physical heart, it's the all that is
Yeah.
through
it's-
here.
Somehow I think Geschichte would explain this better, but in my experience, somehow this area where we feel emotions, Geschichte calls it the emotional heart, this area is an amazing communicator. It is really where we are consistently emitting and receiving information. This is actually where the conversation takes place before any of us speak. And to be able to tap into that space on someone and yourself really deepens your ability for communication.
Okay.
Wouldn't you say?
Yeah, I do, certainly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel it now immensely when I'm doing my energetic healing work. I feel it through the heart space.
Yeah.
So with a loved one, Geschichte has come through and they are connecting with the client's heart space and they are calling in the transitioned spirit. Let's say it's a mother and we're working with a daughter. And the mother's energy, which is still alive in its fullest form, just not in physical form, that energy is present in the heart space of this daughter.
And well, I would say in the general heart field.
Okay.
So that field is pretty enormous. So it just, sometimes it's like it's coming from inside, sometimes it's like it's coming from out here, but it's definitely always connected to this heart field.
And then Geschichte will begin communicating with the transitioned spirit.
So my experience, I will hear Geschichte communicating with the loved one and communicating with the person.
Verbally.
Verbally with the person, mentally with the loved one. So there's two conversations happening at the same time. Really three, because then they're also communicating with the heart, with the emotional heart of the client as well.
So by the time they've spent an hour together, at the conclusion of it, is it your understanding that the loved one now has some heightened resolution?
For me, every experience I've had with helping someone of this nature, they always have resolution when they leave my office.
Do they feel the presence of their loved one?
Yeah, they do. Yeah.
Because Geschichte is sort of helping harness that person's energy?
They're helping tune that person's connection. Because what happens is that people get so caught up in their pain that they can't feel the connection anymore. And so Geschichte will really move them back into the connection with their loved one. And it's when that person can feel that connection, they can feel their loved one. But when they're focused on them not being here, they're not here, they're not here, they're not here, they can't feel it because they're focused on a disconnect, even though their loved one is right there.
Yeah, it's a really beautiful process. Is it emotional for you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would imagine it would be. I actually had a very personal experience with this, which is one of the reasons I'm so interested in it. My sister-in-law passed away almost 2 years ago from cancer, and I'm very close to her children, my niece, and my niece was very interested in connecting with her mother, and she had mentioned that she didn't feel connected. She hadn't actually had dreams of her mother, and I've had many dreams where her mom, Carrie, came and was with me in a very lucid state. So we came to Geschichte, an Angel, and I remember afterwards my niece called me, and she was so emotional just because it was such a profound experience, because she knew beyond the shadow of a doubt that Carrie was with her there and that they communicated. But what was so beautiful for me, Geschichte actually gave my niece a specific meditation to help connect to spirit. And so my niece and I both agreed to listen to the meditation as we were going to bed that night. And while I was sleeping, I had a really beautiful, lucid dream with Carrie in the hospital, and she was speaking directly to me, and she was taking off these black casts. And it felt very symbolic, almost like letting go of this denseness of physical, taking off these casts. And I smelt the hospital room so clearly. And normally in my dreams, I have very, very vivid dreams, but very rarely do I have smells in my dream. But I very clearly smelled the hospital. Well, my niece texted me that morning, and she said, "I dreamed about Mom last night." She said we were all with her, the entire family, even the dog. And it was so emotional for her because, again, she had not had a dream of her mother since Carrie had transitioned. And, but what she also told me was that in her dream, she could smell the hospital. And then I texted and told her that I had smelled the hospital too, and it was so profound for me. And my niece had said that she actually purposefully had tried not to recall the hospital smell because it obviously triggered a lot of emotions for her. So for her to have that dream and that hospital smell, and for me to have it, a dream and a hospital smell on the exact same night after Geschichte and Angel had communicated, I thought was just remarkably beautiful.
It is. That's so cool.
Yeah, it really is. Any other thoughts before we leave on working with transition spirits?
No, not really.
Okay. Well, it's been a beautiful journey watching Angel as she works with clients in this field, and especially since I have such a personal, emotional interest in it. So thank you for sharing that, and hope you'll join us for another in our ongoing series of Life as a Channel with Angelique Moselle Robbins. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.